Maya Rodriguez woke up at exactly 6 in the morning, just like she had every day for the past 7 years. The small digital clock on her makeshift desk glowed green in the darkness of the underground bunker. She rolled off her narrow bed and stretched her stiff muscles. Another day of staying alive had begun. The bunker was cold and quiet. Maya walked to the main control room where dozens of old computer screens flickered with dim light. She had built this setup herself using parts from the original military research facility. The computers showed her everything she needed to know about the world above. Temperature readings, radiation levels, and, most importantly, any signs of the aliens. Maya sat down and checked each screen carefully. The mountain was covered in fresh snow. The wind was blowing hard from the north, and no movement anywhere near. Her hidden entrance. Good. She was still safe. 7 years ago, Maya had been a young engineer working for the government. She was 25 then, fresh out of college and excited about her new job. The research facility where she worked was supposed to be developing new defense systems. Maya had been deep underground, testing equipment in the lower levels. When the aliens came, she remembered that day perfectly. The alarm system started screaming at 11 in the morning. Red lights flashed everywhere. The facility's speakers crackled with panicked voices talking about ships in the sky and cities burning.
Maya had run to the elevator, but the power
went out before she could reach the surface. The emergency generators kicked in, but the elevator stayed broken. Maya was trapped 300 feet below ground with no way to get out. She had food for maybe a week and water for 3 days. Above her, the world was ending. The aliens called themselves the Zephyrians. Maya learned this later by listening to their radio signals. They were tall, gray creatures with long arms and big black eyes. They had ships that could destroy entire cities in minutes. Their weapons turned buildings to dust, and their soldiers wore armor that could stop any human bullet. Maya had watched it all happen through the facility's security cameras. The cameras on the surface showed her things she would never forget. Burning cities, empty streets, dead bodies everywhere. The Zephyrians moved across Earth like a disease, killing everything in their path. For the first month, Maya heard human voices on the radio, military commanders trying to organize resistance, civilians begging for help, scientists looking for ways to fight back. But one by one, the voices stopped. After 6 weeks, Maya heard only alien voices speaking in there. Strange language. Maya had to make a choice. She could try to reach the surface and probably die within hours, or she could stay underground and try to survive. She chose to survive. The research facility had been built to last through a nuclear war. It had thick walls, air filters, and backup power systems. Maya was an engineer, so she knew how to fix things when they broke. She also knew how to make changes to the systems to help her stay hidden. She started by sealing off most of the facility. She only used 3 small rooms near the center, far from any outside walls. She rerouted the power systems to use as little energy as possible. She set up the computers to run on minimal power and turned off all unnecessary lights. Food was the biggest problem. The facility had emergency supplies, but they would only last a few months. Maya solved this by building a small garden in one of the storage rooms. She used special lights and water systems to grow vegetables and fruits. It took her almost a year to get enough food growing, and she lost a lot of weight during that time. Water was easier. The facility had its own well, deep underground. Maya cleaned the water system and made sure it would keep working for years. She also collected rainwater through hidden pipes that led to the surface. The hardest part was staying sane. Maya had always been around people. She liked talking and laughing with her coworkers. She enjoyed going to movies and restaurants. Now she was completely alone day after day, with no one to talk to except herself. Maya dealt with the loneliness by staying busy. She explored every part of the facility and learned how everything worked. She read all the technical manuals and scientific papers she could find. She wrote in a journal every day, describing what she did and what she was thinking about. Also watched the aliens. Maya set up hidden cameras around the mountain using equipment from the facility. The cameras were small and used very little power. They showed her when the Zephyrians came near her area. The aliens sent patrols through the mountains every few months. They rode in small flying vehicles that made no sound. They had devices that could detect heat and movement from far away. Maya learned to hide from these devices by staying deep underground and keeping her heat signature very low. Maya also learned the alien language by listening to their radio signals. It took her 3 years, but she could finally understand what they were saying. She learned that they were stripping Earth of its metals and minerals. They were taking everything valuable and shipping it back to their home worlds. Most importantly, Maya learned that the Zephyrians thought all humans were dead. Their reports said that Earth was empty of intelligent life. They had stopped looking for survivors years ago. This gave Maya hope. If the aliens thought everyone was dead, they would not be as careful about searching. Maya could stay hidden as long as she was smart about it, but staying hidden was getting harder. Maya's equipment was old and breaking down. Some of her cameras had stopped working. Computers were having more problems every month. The hydroponics garden sometimes failed, leaving her hungry for days. Maya was also getting older. She was 32 now, and 7 years of living underground had made her thin and pale. She was still strong, but she knew she could not live like this forever. She needed a plan for what to do next. On this particular morning, Maya noticed something strange on her computer screens. The radiation detector was showing unusual readings from the north side of the mountain. Maya frowned and checked the other sensors. Everything else looked normal. Maya switched to the camera feeds from that area. She could see fresh snow and dark trees, but nothing else. She watched for an hour, but saw no movement. Maybe the detector was just malfunctioning, but something felt wrong. Maya had learned to trust her instincts over the past 7 years. Those instincts had kept her alive when everything else had failed. Right now, those instincts were telling her that something was different about today. Maya stood up and walked to her emergency supplies. She pulled out a small backpack and started filling it with food, water, and basic tools. If she had to run, she wanted to be ready. Outside, the wind howled through the trees. The snow continued to fall on the mountain. And somewhere in the distance, sensors that Maya could not see were picking up energy readings that should not exist in this empty place. Maya spent the next 3 hours checking every system in her bunker. The radiation readings were getting stronger. Something was definitely wrong, but she could not figure out what it was. Her equipment had worked perfectly for 7 years. Why? Was it acting strange now? She pulled up the facility's old technical manuals on her computer. Maya read through pages about the bunker's shielding systems. The thick metal walls were supposed to block all radiation and energy signatures. Nothing from inside should be visible to outside sensors. Then Maya found something that made her stomach drop. The manual had a warning about solar flares. During periods of high solar activity, the bunker's shielding could become unstable. Small amounts of energy might leak out for short periods of time. Maya quickly checked the space, or the reports she had been downloading automatically. Her face went pale. A massive solar flare had hit Earth 2 days ago. She had been so focused on the alien patrols that she had missed it completely. The solar flare had damaged her shielding. For the past 2 days, her bunker had been sending out tiny energy signals. To Maya's old equipment, these signals were too small to notice. But alien technology was much more advanced. They could probably detect energy sources from hundreds of miles away. Maya ran to her emergency bag and started adding more supplies. She grabbed extra batteries, medical supplies, and warm clothes. If the aliens had detected her, they would be coming soon. She needed to get out of the bunker before they arrived, but leaving would not be easy. Maya had not been outside for 7 years. She did not know what the surface world looked like now. The aliens might have sensors everywhere. They could be watching every road and trail. Maya decided to use the old maintenance tunnels. During construction, workers had built a network of tunnels that connected the bunker to several points on the mountain. Most of these tunnels had been sealed, but Maya had secretly reopened one of them years ago. It led to a cave about 2 miles away. She was getting ready to leave when her computer started beeping loudly. Maya ran to the screens and saw something that made her heart race. 3 alien vehicles were flying toward her mountain. They were moving fast and heading straight for her location. Maya grabbed her bag and ran toward the tunnel entrance. Behind her, the computers continued beeping as more alien vehicles appeared on the screens.
Oh.
The Zephyrians had found her after 7 years of perfect hiding. The maintenance tunnel was dark and narrow.
Oh.
Maya used a small flashlight to see where she was going. The tunnel had not been used for years, and parts of it were blocked with fallen rocks. Maya climbed over the obstacles as quickly as she could. Above her, she could hear strange humming sounds. The alien vehicles were landing near her bunker. Maya moved faster through the tunnel, trying not to make any noise. Her heart was beating so loud she was afraid the aliens might hear it. Captain Vexcaler stepped out of his vehicle and looked around the snowy mountain. He was tall and thin, like all Zephyrians, with gray skin and large black eyes. He had been hunting the last survivors of conquered worlds for over 20 years. This was supposed to be an easy mission. His sensors showed that energy was coming from somewhere underground. But according to their records, this planet had been completely cleared of intelligent life 7 years ago. There should be nothing here except empty ruins and wild animals. Vexcalar activated his scanner and pointed it at the ground. The readings were definitely coming from below. Something was using power down there, something that knew how to hide very well. His team of 6 soldiers spread out around the area. They carried weapons that could cut through solid rock and sensors that could detect heartbeats from 100 feet away. If anything was alive down there, they would find it. Maya reached the end of the tunnel and carefully opened the hidden door. She was in a small cave halfway up the mountain. Snow was falling outside and the wind was very cold. Maya had not felt natural air on her skin for 7 years. She could see her bunker far below. 6 alien soldiers were standing around the entrance. Using strange devices to scan the ground, their vehicles sat nearby, silent and black against the white snow. Maya knew she should run. She should go deeper into the mountains and try to find another place to hide. But something made her stay and watch. She wanted to see what the aliens would do to her home. One of the soldiers found the bunker's entrance. It was hidden under a fake rock that Maya had built years ago. The soldier called to his captain and pointed at the ground. Captain Vexcalar walked over and examined the entrance. The aliens used a small device to cut through Maya's lock. The entrance opened with a soft hiss. Vexcalar and 2 soldiers went inside, while the others stayed on guard outside. Maya watched through binoculars as lights appeared in her bunker. The aliens were exploring every room, looking at her equipment and her tiny garden. They were probably amazed that a human had lived there for so long. After an hour, Captain Vexcalar came back outside. He was holding something in his hand. Maya focused her binoculars and saw that it was her journal. The book where she had written down her thoughts and experiences for 7 years. Vexcalar was reading her journal and talking to his soldiers. Maya could not hear what they were saying, but she could tell they were surprised. They had expected to find some old equipment, or maybe a dead body. Instead, they had found proof that a human had been living there very recently. The captain started giving orders to his team. 2 soldiers went back into the bunker. The others began searching the area outside. They were looking for signs of where Maya had gone. Maya knew she needed to move. The aliens would eventually find the tunnel entrance. Their sensors were too good, and she had left footprints in the snow. But she was also curious. For 7 years, she had watched the aliens from a distance. Now they were in her home, touching her things. One of the soldiers found her tunnel. He called to the others and pointed at the hidden entrance. Captain Vexcalar walked over and examined the opening. He spoke into a communication device, probably calling for more help. Maya finally started moving. She crawled deeper into the cave and found a passage that led further up the mountain. The passage was narrow and rough, but it would hide her from the alien sensors for a while. Behind her, she could hear the aliens entering the tunnel. They were moving slowly and carefully, probably using their devices to track her footprints and scent. Maya tried to move faster, but the passage was difficult to navigate in the dark. She climbed for 20 minutes before the passage opened into a larger cave. 8. Maya stopped to rest and listen. She could hear the aliens behind her, getting closer. Their equipment made soft beeping sounds as they followed her trail. Maya realized she was not going to escape. The aliens were too fast, and their technology was too advanced. After 7 years of successful hiding, she was about to be caught by the creatures who had destroyed her world. But Maya was not going to give up without a fight. She had survived for 7 years by being smart and careful. Even if they caught her, she would not make it easy for them. Maya Rodriguez had been hiding for too long to surrender now. Maya heard the aliens getting closer behind her. Their footsteps echoed in the cave tunnels. She tried to move faster, but her legs were tired from 7 years of living in small underground rooms. The aliens were used to chasing people. Were faster and stronger than she was. The cave passage led to a dead end. Maya found herself trapped in a small room with nowhere else to go. She could hear Captain Vexcalar talking to his soldiers just around the corner. In a few seconds, they would find her. Maya sat down on a rock and waited. She was scared, but she was also angry. For 7 years, she had lived like an animal underground. She had grown her own food, fixed her own equipment, and survived completely. Alone. Now these creatures were going to kill her, just like they had killed everyone else on Earth. Captain Vexcalar appeared in the cave entrance. He was holding a weapon that glowed with blue light. Behind him, 2 soldiers pointed their guns. At Maya, the captain looked surprised to see her sitting calmly on the rock. Maya stared back at him without saying anything. She had learned some of the alien language by listening to their radio signals. She could understand most of what they were saying, but she was not going to let them know that Vexcalar spoke to her in broken English. His voice was strange and hollow. He asked her who she was and how long she had been hiding. Maya just looked at him and said nothing. The captain tried asking questions in different ways. He wanted to know if there were other humans hiding somewhere. He asked about weapons and communication devices. Maya kept her mouth shut and stared at him with cold eyes. After an hour of getting no answers, Vexcalar gave up on questioning her. In the cave, he ordered his soldiers to tie Maya's hands and take her to their ship. Maya did not fight them. She knew it would be useless against their advanced weapons. The alien ship was unlike anything Maya had ever seen. It was completely silent and seemed to float above the ground without any visible engines. The inside was all smooth metal walls and strange blue lights. Maya was put in a small cell with no windows. For 3 days, Maya stayed in the cell without seeing anyone. Alien food appeared through a slot in the wall twice a day. Food was tasteless but filling. Maya ate it because she needed to stay strong. She also used the time to think about what the aliens might want from her. On the 4th day, Captain Vexcalar came to her cell. He brought another alien with him. This one was older and wore different clothes. Vexcalar introduced him as Commander Thane Jorix, the leader of all Zephyrian forces in this area. Commander Thane Jorix studied Maya carefully. He spoke better English than Vexcalar. He told Maya that they were very surprised to find a human still alive after 7 years. According to their records, all humans had been eliminated long ago. Maya finally spoke. She told them that humans were harder to kill than they thought. She said this in a calm voice, looking directly at the commander. Thane Jorix seemed interested in her response. The commander asked Maya how she had survived for so long. Maya decided to answer some questions, but not others. She told them about her underground bunker and her food garden. She explained how she had hidden from their patrols and learned their language, but Maya did not tell them about her cameras or her knowledge of their communication systems. She did not mention that she knew about their problems on other worlds. She kept the most important information to herself. Commander Thane Jorix was impressed by Maya's survival skills. He said that in 20 years of conquering planets, he had never seen anything like it. Most species either fought and died quickly or surrendered without resistance. Humans seemed to do something different. The commander made a decision that surprised everyone, including Captain Vexcalar. Instead of killing Maya, he wanted to study her. He said that understanding human survival abilities might be useful for future conquests. Maya would be taken to a research facility where scientists could examine her. Maya was moved to a larger ship, and taken to a base, built inside a mountain. The base was huge, with hundreds of aliens working on different projects. Maya was given a room that was bigger than her cell, still locked from the outside. Dr. Nexus 4, the scientist put in charge of studying Maya, he was different from the soldiers. He seemed curious about humans rather than afraid of them. He asked Maya questions about human psychology and behavior. Maya decided to cooperate with some of the tests. She answered questions about human emotions and social structures. She demonstrated problem-solving skills and showed how humans adapted to difficult situations. But she was also learning about the aliens while they studied her. Maya discovered that the Zephyrians were very different from humans. They had eliminated most individual thinking in their society. Everyone followed orders without question. They were very good at working together, but they were not creative or flexible. This gave Maya an idea. She started acting more cooperative with Dr. Nexus VOR. She answered his questions and even asked some of her own. She pretended to be interested in Zephyrian technology and culture. The doctor was happy to explain things to her. Through these conversations, Maya learned important information. She found out that the Zephyrian Empire was having trouble with some of their recent conquests. Several planets had developed resistance movements. Some conquered species had learned to use Zephyrian technology against them. Maya also learned that there were still human survivors on Earth and other colonies. Small groups were hiding and fighting back against the aliens. The Zephyrians had been unable to completely eliminate human resistance, even with their advanced weapons. This news gave Maya hope. She was not the last human alive. Somewhere out there, people were still fighting. They needed information about Zephyrian weaknesses and technology. Maya was in the perfect position to get that information. Maya began to plan. She would continue cooperating with the research, but she would also start gathering intelligence. She would learn everything she could about Zephyrian technology and military operations. Then she would find a way to get that information to the human resistance. But Maya also started doing something else. She began making small changes to the research facility's systems. As an engineer, she understood how complex machines worked. She could introduce tiny problems that would grow larger over time. Maya changed computer programs so they would work a little slower. She adjusted environmental controls to waste energy. She modified equipment so it would break down more often. The changes were so small that the aliens did not notice them at first. Dr. Nexus 4 continued his research, not knowing that his test subject was slowly sabotaging his facility. Maya answered his questions and took his tests, but she was also planning her revenge. After 7 years of hiding, Maya Rodriguez was finally ready to fight back. Maya had been in the research facility for 3 months. During that time, she had learned more about the Zephyrians than any human before her. She knew their weaknesses, their technology, and most importantly, their communication systems. It was time to use that knowledge. Late at night, when most of the aliens were sleeping, Maya worked on a secret project. She had been collecting small pieces of electronic equipment from the research lab. Broken sensors, damaged wires, and old computer chips that the aliens threw away. Maya was building something with these parts. Using her engineering skills, Maya created a small communication device. It was hidden inside what looked like a broken piece of lab equipment. The device could send messages on frequencies that the human resistance used. Maya had learned about these frequencies by listening to alien reports about resistance activities. It took Maya 2 weeks to make contact with the resistance group. The first message she received made her cry with joy. It was from a human named Jake Collins, who led a group of 50 survivors hiding in the ruins of Denver. Jake could not believe that someone was sending messages from inside an alien facility. Maya told Jake everything she had learned. She explained how Zephyrian technology worked and where their bases were located. She gave him detailed information about alien patrol routes and communication systems. Most importantly, she told him about the weaknesses she had discovered. The Zephyrians were very confident after 7 years of easy victories. They had stopped being careful about security. Their computer systems were not well protected because they did not think any humans were smart enough to break into them. This was their biggest mistake. Maya and Jake worked together to plan a major attack. The resistance had grown much larger than Maya had thought. There were groups hiding all over North America, and they had been building weapons and gathering supplies. They just needed someone on the inside to help coordinate their efforts. Maya's months of sabotage had been working perfectly. The research facility was having more problems every day. Equipment broke down constantly. Computer systems ran slowly. Environmental controls wasted huge amounts of energy. Dr. Nexus Foe was getting frustrated, but he could not figure out what was wrong. Commander Thanjorix was also having problems. Reports from other facilities showed similar issues. Equipment failures were happening everywhere. The commander suspected sabotage, but he could not find any evidence. The problem seemed to be random mechanical failures. Maya knew it was time. For the final phase of her plan, she sent a message to Jake telling him to prepare for the attack. She would create chaos inside the facility while the resistance attacked from outside. If everything went right, it could capture important Zephyrian technology and free dozens of prisoners. The attack began at dawn on a Tuesday morning. Maya was in the research lab with Dr. Nexus Vor when alarms started going off throughout the facility. The doctor looked confused as red lights flashed and sirens wailed. Emergency announcements echoed through the corridors in the alien language. Maya pretended to be scared, but inside she was excited. The resistance was attacking 3 different Zephyrian bases at the same time. Maya had given them the information they needed to hit the aliens where it would hurt the most. Dr. Nexus Vor tried to contact the command center, but his communication system was not working. Maya had damaged it the night before. The doctor was starting to panic as more alarms joined the noise. Maya waited for the right moment, then activated the final part of her sabotage plan. All the changes she had made over the past 3 months came together at once. Power systems failed throughout the facility. Security doors locked randomly. Computer networks crashed completely. The research facility fell into chaos. Alien soldiers ran through the corridors trying to restore order, but nothing worked properly. Maya had turned their own technology against them in the confusion. Maya broke out of her room using tools she had hidden weeks earlier. She ran through the facility, freeing other prisoners. There were humans from Earth and aliens from other conquered worlds. All of them had been captured for research purposes. Maya led the prisoners toward the main exit while fighting continued. Outside, through windows, she could see human resistance fighters battling Zephyrian soldiers. The humans were using captured alien weapons and moving with tactics that confused their enemies. Captain Vexcalar appeared in the corridor ahead of Maya and the prisoners. He was carrying his energy weapon and looked very angry. The captain had finally realized that Maya was responsible for all the facility's problems. Maya faced him without fear. She told him that humans were not as weak as the Zephyrians thought. She said that people all over the galaxy were fighting back against the Empire. The captain tried to shoot her, but his weapon would not work because Maya had damaged the facility's power grid. Commander Thanjorix arrived with more soldiers. He looked around at the chaos Maya had created and slowly began to understand. One human had brought down an entire research facility. One person had outsmarted their most advanced technology. The commander asked Maya how she had done it. Maya smiled and told him that humans never give up. She said that every day she spent hiding had made her stronger and smarter. Every month, in captivity, had taught her more about Zephyrian weaknesses. Maya explained that the aliens had made a terrible mistake. They thought that destroying human cities and killing millions of people would break human spirit. Instead, it had made the survivors more determined than ever. Humans learned from every defeat and came back stronger. Outside, the battle was turning in favor of the resistance. Jake Collins and his fighters had captured the main communications array. Other resistance groups were attacking facilities across the continent. The coordinated assault was working exactly as Maya had planned. Commander Thanjorix realized that his empire was facing something it had never encountered before. Previous conquests had been easy because other species either fought conventionally or surrendered quickly. Humans didn't either. They adapted, they learned, they never stopped fighting. Maya and the freed prisoners escaped from the facility as it collapsed around them. The resistance fighters covered their retreat while capturing valuable alien equipment and data. Maya had not only survived 7 years of hiding, but she had also struck a major blow against the empire that destroyed her world, as Maya breathed free air for the first time in months. She looked up at the sky. Somewhere up there, the Zephyrian Empire was learning that Earth would not be conquered easily. Humans like Maya Rodriguez would make sure of that. The war was far from over, but Maya had proven something important. Human courage and determination could defeat any enemy, no matter how advanced their technology. Maya had hidden for 7 years, but now she was ready to fight. She would not be fighting alone.